Hey guys, what's going on? It's Alex at HOGWORKZ, and today we're bringing you our Lumipro LED vent signals. These are going to have a white running light and an amber turn light. These are going to fit on your 15 to 23 road glides. Today we're in the shop and we're going to show you how to get these installed. All right guys, the first thing you want to do is go ahead and remove your windscreen. This windscreen that we have on here, you know, this trim ring, this takes a 3mm Allen. Some windscreens are different. Some of them, you know, you might need an 1/8 inch Allen. So just go ahead and remove this. And then you will want to save one of these screws, because once we get the trim off, the windscreen off, and the part behind it, we're gonna reinstall temporarily one of these windshield screws, and that's just gonna hold the fairing on until we can get the rest of the screws off, and then at the end, we'll pull that off too. And so now you'll just wanna make sure that your windshield doesn't fall off of there. So go ahead and grab that. Then we'll go ahead and pop this off. Just kind of lift up, slides out. And this is where you'll want to temporarily reinstall one of these top fairing windshield mount screws here. You just do it just like that. And the next thing we're going to take out is this guy here, and you can kind of just pull forward a little bit on it and it pops right out. You can see it's just held in by these retaining clips that go in here and in there. Next, what you're going to want to do is get a T25 Torx bit, and we are going to remove the air deflectors on both sides. There's 2 screws, so we'll go ahead and remove these 2 here, T25. And got your air deflector off now. And we'll do the same thing on this side. All right, so then the next thing what you want to do is, using a pry tool like this, we're going to remove the speaker covers, and you can do that by right here on the inside. You can just, they're held in with 2 clips. So just give it a pry and then pull up on it. And then this side here has got a tab, but it goes underneath here. So when you pull it out, you'll want to kind of slide it like this way. And you can see the tab I'm talking about there. And then the locking tabs here and here that go into these slots here and there. So we'll go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Once you have the speaker covers off, you go ahead and remove these 2 screws on the fairing here. These are gonna be T27s. So the last thing that's gonna be holding the fairing on is your turn signal lights. These ones we have aftermarket ones on, so these are gonna take a 4mm screw. If you have your OEM bullets, those are gonna be a 3/16 Allen. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Then the only thing holding the fairing on at this point is your 1 screw that you put in here for the front fairing. But we need to disconnect our turn signal lights. So go ahead and do that now. And then these wires are gonna come off with the fairing. Remove our fairing screw here, and we'll be able to pick this whole thing up and slide it right out. One thing you're gonna need to put these Lumipro LED turn signals on is you're gonna need your OEM headlight trim bezels. You wanna go ahead and put a piece of tape over this, because what we're gonna end up having to do is drill 2 holes, and then that'll allow us to put our screw insert in there that the LED turn signals are gonna mount to. All right, so these are gonna go just about 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch off the edge here. So really that's all we kind of gotta tape off here. And again, we're just putting this tape on there to be able to mark where we're gonna drill our holes at. Grab yourself a Sharpie. Obviously do yourself a favor and make sure that it's gonna fit through. Well, Sharpie, I don't think is gonna work here, at least not this size Sharpie. So I'm just gonna use a pencil, and what we're gonna do here is line this up. And you kind of want this edge here, you know, to follow the edge of the trim bezel. I don't think you want it too far in. So maybe just like about right here, and you can kind of see how, you know, you kind of want it to follow this shape of the vent here too. Right about there. And just go ahead and mark through your hole. All right, and you can pull this off. And I'm gonna recommend that you take these trim bezel pieces back off before you drill them, because if you're pushing too hard, you're gonna send your drill right into your headlight. So use your own skill level judgment on that. I'll just take them off. And what you're gonna end up putting in there, these little rubber screw inserts. So what happens is you put these, you know, in your hole, and then as you put the screw in and tighten it, it will kind of expand this a little bit, and it will lock it inside of your trim bezel there. The drill bit size is gonna be a 1964. It really grabs, so that's why I said do it off the bike. If not, it'll grab it, suck your drill right into your headlight. Some nice clean holes there. These guys here, I mean, they're just like rubber, so throw a little water on them or whatnot, just spit on them. So one trick you can use is just to put the screw in there, then you can it'll help you kind of push on it. There we go. Okay, so now you got both of your screw inserts installed. Go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. All right, so again, same thing on the other side here. Put our tape on. All right, and go ahead and line it up. Looks pretty good there. Drill these out. Yeah, it's a bit aggressive. So now that you have the holes drilled, you can go ahead and put your screw inserts in. Now that you have both of them installed, we're going to go ahead and put them back on the motorcycle. All right, go ahead and put the other side back on. Now that you have the OEM trim bezels drilled out, you got your screw inserts in, you're ready to go ahead and put the LEDs on. So they're gonna be held on by 2 screws here. Okay, so it's gonna be a 2.5 mil Allen. Put these guys on. And these, because they're just a rubber insert in there, just don't want to over tighten them, because you'll end up pulling it out of there. Looks pretty good. We'll go ahead and run our wire up. And this here, it's got a splitter on it, so it will plug into your bullets too. So I'm just gonna disconnect this for a second, so I can just kind of run this wire up under some of this other wiring, kind of get it cleaned up here. I'm just gonna go ahead and use this twisty tie to hold this together. And then we'll just kind of tuck this under here. And we will reconnect the splitter here. And then The other end of this splitter is gonna go into my bullet connection, our other turn signal connection. And then we have aftermarket bullets on this side, so this is just the controller for it. So when we put the fairing back on, the fairing's got the other wire that the light's connected to. So we are going to plug this into here. And then when we put the fairing back on, this is where we'll connect the fairing to. Again, this is for our aftermarket turn signals where the bullets typically are. So we'll go ahead and do that same thing on the other side. Go. All right, so we'll go ahead and mount this one on this side here. We'll go ahead and kind of tidy this up a little bit here. And we're gonna run this. Run underneath here. We'll reconnect our splitter. Tuck this in here. This guy into here. This guy into there. Okay, and again, this is gonna go down to our bullet turn signals. Okay, at this point, before you go and put the fairing back on, it's probably a good idea to turn the bike on, check the function. All right, so we'll go ahead and give it a test. Looks like we got the running lights. Got a left turn and a right turn, and we got hazards. All right, cool. Looks like everything is working good. Everything looks good. So we're ready to go ahead and put the front fairing back on. So make sure that your bullet wires aren't tucked down in the fairing because you'll end up pulling it back off to get them. So we got those up like that, and go ahead and get everything lined up here. All right, so once you got it in place, what you want to do is just to hold it. I want to just stick one of these windshield screws in it to hold it for now. And then we can go ahead and connect our bullet signals back in. Okay, now we're ready to start putting the fairing screws back in. T27 Torx bit. Go ahead and put these ones back in near the speakers. After you got your air deflectors tightened down, you can go ahead. We got our aftermarket turn signals on here. Most guys will have your bullet turn signals here, but you want to go ahead and put your screw back in and tighten those up. Remove this one screw here that we had holding the fairing on. Now that we got some more screws in there mounted up, and then we're going to put this cover back on. This little lip goes underneath the lip on the inner fairing. Just snaps right into place. After that, you got this piece on the top here. These tabs, they go underneath the inner fairing as well. So you kind of got a little bit of an angle. Make sure you got both sides under there. Like that. Okay. And you'll know you have this on right if you can look through these holes and see the screw insert. If you don't have this tucked up underneath this inner fairing lip, these 4 holes aren't going to align. Now we're ready to put the windshield back on. And the last piece is your little windshield retainer trim piece here. There we go. All right, the only thing you got left to do is put your speaker guards back on the inside of the inner fairing here. All right. Go ahead and turn it on. Make sure all your other lights are working, your bullets are working. Those on, go ahead and give the blinker a test. So we got our blinker, we got our bullets blinking. Check the other side. All right, looks like everything's working. We're good to go.